everyone. Today I will be reviewing Mario Kart Tour. Mario Kart Tour, it's like Mario Kart, but on your telephone this time. And Mario Kart's good, which makes this one good too.
The sun is shining on me. It makes me feel so free, so alive.
This game is fun because the game requires your finger as the analog stick. And if you slide your finger, you can drift sometimes, but I swear it usually works.
Can you feel the sunshine? Does it brighten up the day? Don't you feel that sometimes we just need to run away?
The cast is as big as ever. You've got classics like Detective Baby Rosalina, a Koopa with a hat, Chef Shy Guy, and the Blue Birdo? What? They've got Spyro here. If you're really looking for a challenge, you can go online and play with other players. Let's try it now. How did this get an official award? Good lord. Crash Team Racing Nitro Field is not only one of the best remakes in our current existence, but is one of the few fearsome contenders to rival even the likes of Mario Kart. It combines content from the original CTR and Nitro Kart, along with some new stuff, to create the perfect monster of a kart racer. You can clearly see the inspirations in its DNA, but don't be misled by its familiar veil. It hones in on the desire to attain unspeakable speed so outrageous that no officer would dare pursue you. Your main way to pick up speed is by drifting, which functions almost like a rhythm game. Once you start a slide, you gotta press the button before the meter runs out, and the longer you let it run, the better boost you'll receive. You can do this 3 times in a row before you need to initiate another slide to reset the meter. You can also gain speed by jumping off ramps, and the longer you're in the air, the bigger the boost you'll get once you land. But the best way to keep any momentum gained from these boosts is by combining these mechanics to build it up until your kart is fuming the blazes of the hell itself. And to extend it even further, you can go over boost pads to maintain faster speeds, and some of the pads give you special blue flames, which turns the game from fast to going the speed of light. So not only do you gotta keep drifting and jumping to maintain it, the track itself is now an obstacle, and slamming into any wall will immediately deflate your speed and your self-esteem. Oh yeah, I forgot items are in this game. The items are pretty basic in terms of function, most initiating a mini car crash. But if you collect these fruit boxes, you can not only get a mild speed boost, but getting 10 improves any item you get. So stuff like the beakers will slow you down after your crash, and items like shields don't vanish until they get hit. But even fruit can improve how bad the missile item is. Of course, rather than following the track to hit the player, it instead tracks the player without accounting for the walls. So you have to be decently close if you even want a chance to hit with it. But having all these fancy mechanics doesn't matter if you don't have any good tracks to burn rubber through. So, are there any good tracks? Yes. Tiny Arena, Polar Pass, Papu's Pyramid, Meteor Gorge, and Android Alley are only a few of the great tracks out of a total of 40. Every track is perfectly paced with exhilarating velocity to twist the concept of boredom into extinction. Of course there are some stinkers. Some tracks have claustrophobically tight corners that require the use of your brakes to get around them, and some shortcuts that look simple are a flip of the coin whether it actually functions, especially the few that involve fences. But each one has its workaround and aren't enough to smear this clean track record. To any new players, this information dump probably makes the game seem a little intimidating. So a place to hone in on the nitty-gritty of the game is in the single-player adventure mode. You essentially go through 4 hub areas that each contain 4 tracks that end with an underwhelming item-spamming boss. But nonetheless, it's a fun distraction that gives you a taste of some of the other game modes, like finding these hidden letters, collecting crystals in a limited amount of time, and relic races that provide a fun time-based challenge where you need to hit these crates to pause the clock and finish in the quickest time possible. Outside of the adventure mode, there's the battle mode that has a nice variety of rule sets, my personal favorite being capture the flag. But if you're craving an injection of soul-crushing thrills, time trial's the mode for you! These ghosts are the gatekeepers of a player's true skill. The end trophy times are easy as long as you know the tracks and keep decent momentum. Oxide times are a more imposing test that have less room for any error, but now they've added velo and developer times, which require such flawless execution, it leads me to believe that Beanox is run by advanced AI. But if you're not looking to be a pro, adventure mode is not only good for casual fun, but it's a good way to unlock lots of stuff. You can get stuff like characters, character skins, carts, cart skins, cart colors, wheels, and stickers. The amount you can customize is pretty plentiful, and you have a huge roster of fun and unique characters, each one oozing with animatic personality. Fans will be pleased to see so many familiar and forgotten faces. God, I thought this was Crash Team Racing, not Super Crash Brothers. You'll also earn coins that you can spend in the in-game shop, which you earn just by playing, but you earn a ton more when playing online, as in practically drowning in the currency, which might be a downer for those who just want to play alone or with friends in the same room while still earning stuff. Of course, you could be a corporate shill and pay real coins for them, which got added in a month after they said they weren't going to do that. I wonder whose decision that was. Totally not a company that's been known to do the same thing beforehand. Does it start with an A? I don't think so. Probably EA, actually. Although, Beanox secretly added these gold orbs that you can find offline that can give you a bunch more coins. But keep quiet, they don't know that yet. Speaking of the online, it's very fun in a very exciting and frustrating kind of way. The double-edged sword here being no semblance of a ranking system, so you have a whole range of skill levels you can run into. But if you happen to find a group of people that are out of your league, you can just leave during the race, and it won't cancel it for everyone else. Instead, you'll be turned into a computer player. But joining a new lobby is a whole other genre of storytelling. It could take 5 seconds to 5 minutes just to find another group, but even then, it could still disconnect during the last couple seconds. Then the race itself has to load. Did I mention the load times take almost a full minute? Just be prepared with some patience. Eventually you'll be having fun. Or you'll get really angry because some passerby halts your momentum, and you watch as your enemies carelessly cruise past you as you're flailing in pain. But I highly doubt that. It's pretty fun. Instead of ending the video on the typical, although it has flaws, it's still a great game sort of deal, I want to talk about the people behind this game, Beanox. These guys and gals are some of the most respectful developers to ever grace the gaming industry right now. In time where criticism and suggestions are ignored in favor of getting a few bucks, Beanox has done the unthinkable and listened to the fans for suggestions and fixes, which has in turn transformed the game into something beautiful. Since the launch of the game, they've given us 8 new tracks, 30 new characters, the freedom to pick your character stats, a new game mode, fixed online, and so much more that it could take up a video of its own. And none of it costs a dime. I sincerely want to thank these guys who put so much hard work to make this exponential fanfare of a video game. I hope Beanox keeps making good games, and in the future, maybe, just maybe, companies in the industry could learn a lot from these guys. Nah, that's not what gets people rich. What is this, integrity? Get the fuck out of here. Throw in the microtransactions and rush the game out to store shelves.